of beating myself up because I haven't really been able to memorize my set yet. I'm not supposed to tell you that. But I've been pretty busy with the web series, which you're going to see next, which is pretty exciting. So earlier today, when I was procrastinating, I watched a couple of videos of stand-ups that I really admire, which isn't a good thing to do. Like if you're nervous about doing something, watching a lot of professionals do something that you're about to do and they're going to be really good at it, I wouldn't recommend it. But what I did notice is they all fucking have notes, which I've never noticed before, and that was amazing. Except for on Netflix specials, because TV is a lie. So I'm gonna start now. That part wasn't, I memorized that part, guys. Okay. So a lot of people say that comedians are just kind of like fucked up people that are all depressed and just like, they just like have problems, which I honestly just think is like it's not true. And I wouldn't make generalizations like that because it's real. I forgot it. That was worth that joke. So yeah, I don't think comedians necessarily have to be fucked up, but I definitely feel bad for people that have the inclination to like get up here and do this, because I've jumped out of planes before, and I promise that this is far scarier. I truly think it's the most vulnerable you can make yourself. Granted, I've never done porn before, but honestly, I would be happy to talk to a porn star about this because it's pretty scary. And the reason it's so hard to be a comedian is, well, I'll just give you an example. Say someone devotes their entire life to like cancer research, and you know they work at it, but they don't find a cure for it. Everyone's like, oh, that's great, you tried. But if I get up here and I suck, the audience will hate me. You will. You're like, no, I won't. You would. You would hate me. And you'd be like, that bitch wasted 7 minutes of my life. The people backstage are like, it's fine if you use notes, but just make sure not to draw attention to it. Check. Yeah, but so, even if I was funny, like even if I did do a good job, the only reason college students leave their house is to get drunk, to get laid, or probably both, because God forbid people hook up while they're sober, or out of obligation, which is probably why many of you are here today. The best obligation of all, friendship. But yeah, even if I was funny, by tomorrow, like, you won't care or remember. Like, nothing I say will be as good as like Unbreakable or something. So I'm pretty much just fucked as far as it goes. And so if comedians are fucked up, which would make sense if they were, it's basically your fault, is what I'm trying to get at. Like who would get up here and be like, yeah, I want to speak into a phallic-shaped object for the rest of my life? Or like, oh, yeah, sure, I will sign on to be responsible for the enjoyment of all of these people. That will be good for my mental health. And even comedians, like the jargon that they used, it's pretty fucked up. So if a comedian does really well, you might know the term for doing the best that you can is to kill. Like, I killed that show. So like, just to clarify, best case scenario for a comedian is murder. Like, that's the best they'll feel. Like, oh honey, how was it great? I killed. So, I mean, I just want to put that into perspective of like war, one of like the worst things humans have ever come up with. You get to win it. You win war. We make people laugh and we kill. So I just think if comedians had the chance to win shows, I think we could be a lot happier. And if you do poorly, it's called bombing. So not only do you kill hundreds of people, but you blow their bodies to bits, so they can't even have open casket funerals, which it's pretty much just a lose-lose for comedians, but also audience members, because you're not getting out of here alive. Stay with me on this. So what I propose is I want to use some kind of lighter terms for comedian success or failures. So just a little bit lighter, we don't have to go too far, but if someone was like, oh, Olivia, how was tonight? And I'd be like, oh, I sexually assaulted it so hard. But yeah, I think comedians I think they're depressed sometimes because we don't care about when you're laughing. Like, that's not what we listen to. We listen to when there's just silence. That's what we tune into, when no one is laughing. Like right now. Did I lose some of you with the sexual assault joke? Don't be mad. Don't be mad. But yeah. I don't think I'll ever actually be a good comedian because I do think you need to have some like really hard life experiences to really put the good stuff out there. And it's sad because at one point in my life, I think I was cynical enough to be a comedian, but at that time I was also 5. My mother claims that I called the Bill Clinton scandal before it happened. So I was like, he's cheating. That's not really me. But there was a situation once where I saw my mom when I was 5 putting on makeup, and I went up to her and I was like, why are you doing that? You already have a husband. 5-year-old me was far wiser about the way the world works than I am now. And on my 6th birthday, apparently I was just really depressed, and there were balloons and fucking cake everywhere, and I'm just sitting in a corner like, my mom comes up to me and she goes, Olivia, what is wrong? And I was like, nothing. She goes, no, what's wrong? And I go, nothing. And she goes, okay, well, if you could be any age, what age would you be? And I go, 4. Everyone thought I was cute then. Even Natalie, who's my sister. Yeah, when I was 6, I had already thought that I had peaked. Which I still do, but it was way cuter then. Yeah, so I think deep down I can be cynical, but I don't know. I saw a man riding a bike today. He was riding a tandem bicycle by himself. A very old man. And the person in the car was like, oh, and I was like, oh, that's cute. So I somewhere lost my cynicism along the way. So sorry if this sucks, because I'm not miserable enough to be a good comedian. But things are going pretty well now, even though I'm faced with the doom and abyss of graduating. I'm pretty happy with life. I actually did have a really hard time last semester that not that many people knew about. And if you could not talk about it, that would be great, because mental health issues should just never be talked about. The more you talk about them, they spread. That's how it spreads. It's like sneaky, so don't ever talk about it. But I went to Gannett, and I brought some materials for you guys. I went to a therapist who got me this pamphlet, 101 Stress Busters, and it worked really well for me. So I just kind of want to share with you some of those things that worked out pretty well. Number 21, take a shower. Number 51, take a bubble bath. I swear it's here. Oh, number 96, take a luxurious bath. Come look at it, I'm not kidding. Those, I don't know if you've ever read the pamphlets in Gannett, but they are gold. You probably have, because you've definitely been stuck in there for hours on end in that godforsaken building, and that's all there was to read. My favorite I'm gonna lose some people on this, but my favorite thing to do is to rearrange. So, this is really fucked up, guys. So one of my favorite things to do. So I took some of the pamphlets that were like, "So you're suicidal," and I put next to them the ones like, "How to stop procrastinating." This is, if you ever get a chance, my favorite pamphlet. It's amazing. It's called Coming Out. And it suggests some ways that you can come out to your parents. This is my favorite one. Number 4, bake a cake. Write in frosting on it, "I'm gay." Now, if you're someone that is looking at a pamphlet for how to come out, I can, if you were looking at that pamphlet and like, maybe you have like a really homophobic dad or something, like, I think the way to like kind of ease him into it is definitely with pink frosting. That's the way to do it. Like instead of like open dialogue and like a safe space, Gannett recommends ice cream cake. One thing that's really adding to my happiness right now is that I have a boyfriend, and as you seem surprised. And as you know, boyfriends equal happiness, so as long as we're together. And it's really exciting dating him because he's a feminist, and really just not enough men go around calling themselves feminists, so that's exciting. For him, not me, that's fine. Yeah, like one time I asked him about his feminist ideals, and he was like, "I don't need my feminism questioned by a woman." And I was like, "You're right, sweetie, please don't break up with me." Yeah, I just hope one day I'll be able to be as cynical as Louis C.K. The pamphlet switching might be a good indicator of that. So basically what my plan is to just spend all of my time at Gannett, and hopefully that'll occur until then. But unfortunately right now I'm graduating, and I have a lot of good friends, and like I'm gonna go off and fulfill my dreams, but like, you guys don't give a shit. That doesn't make a good stand-up set. So for right now, I'll keep my fingers crossed, and if I'm lucky, maybe one day, I'll realize that there's no point to it all.